Okay, we are live. The Real Housewives of Real Estate. We are here with our good friend, Jukka, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name. Jukka is a RE/MAX broker in Helsinki, Finland, and he's going to be discussing with us his current real estate market and how COVID is affecting his life and his business. So I'm Kinsey Lee, and I'm in Southwest Florida. And we'll go ahead and do an introduction, and then we'll get started. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. And I'm Alexa Caballo Hughes with RE/MAX in Connecticut. And we have Maria.
I'm Maria Scripp. I'm in the Beaufort, Bluffton, Hilton Head area in South Carolina.
Okay, and as mentioned, my name is Jukka Vuorio, and I am from Helsinki, Finland.
Excellent. And I don't know where Tabitha is. I'm sure that she'll be back. So why did you get into the real estate business? How long have you been working in real estate? Give us a little background.
Yes, now when you ask me, actually, I'm celebrating my 10 years as a realtor right this week. I started in April 2010. Yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah, thanks. I had my background is that I was working in the airline business. I was with Delta Airlines for more or less 15 years, but I had done some flipping on as a side business. So I bought some condos here in Finland that were in really bad shape, and then we just, flipped them and sold them or rented them out. So, and while doing that, I met several realtors. And when I met these realtors, most of them were really, really bad what they were doing. And I was always thinking that if these people, if they can survive in this business, that I think I have to have some sort of chance to be good as a realtor. And then after my airline career, I thought, okay, now is the right time to try this business in real estate, and this is where I ended now. So 10 years with RE/MAX and 10 years in real estate business.
Awesome. And I know that you're a broker owner of your RE/MAX franchise. How many people do you have on your team? How many people in your brokerage? As you know, a lot of Maria has a small office in South Carolina. Alexa's mother used to have a very large RE/MAX franchise.
Yeah.
We have multiple.
Yeah. If I maybe a little background about RE/MAX in Finland. RE/MAX started here in 2006. So this is the 14th year. And I think that development in Finland has been quite spectacular, because now we are more or less the second biggest player in the market in 14 years. In Helsinki region, we are solid number 2. Helsinki is the capital city of Finland. In total, oh, hello.
Hi. Look who's making the party.
Yeah. In total, RE/MAX has at the moment 40 agencies here in Finland. We are one of the European regions. In Europe, like most of the countries are always one region, and we are one region with 40 offices and about 400 realtors. My office, RE/MAX Power, I run it together with my business partner. We have been in business a little bit over 3 years, and at the moment we have 4 agents working with us. So we are a total of 6 in our office, and I would say that it's a pretty average size RE/MAX office here in Finland. Most of the offices are between 5 to 10 people, and then there are a few bigger offices with 50 or 60 agents in total.
That's big, right? So follow-up question to that. Are teams very popular out in your marketplace, or are individual practitioners more common? What's kind of that landscape look like?
I would say it's more individual agents. We have some teams in the bigger offices, but like when I started in 2010, I was part of a team. but I feel that the teams are getting more and more rare in our country. So it's mostly individual agents.
Good. Thank you. And now with Finland, Finland real estate, how does that differ from real estate in the U.S. as far as the transaction, for example? And I mean, in the U.S., the average days from contract to close is 45, anywhere between 30 to 60 days or so. We have different states that are an attorney state versus escrow state. We have inspections, mortgage contingency. We have programs that are anywhere from 0% down to 20% down and then some. What does the real estate look like as far as like contract to closing and things like that?
Well, I think if you compare Finland to USA, the process is a bit faster here, and there are maybe less instances involved in closing. Because here, the one thing that is very different from states, most of the times there is only one realtor who is working with one closing. So buyers usually don't have their own realtor. So me as a listing agent, it's my responsibility by law also look after for the buyer's interest. Then when we get the offers in, if the buyer is using a loan, a mortgage from a bank, then the closing will take place in that bank office. So basically, the parties that are involved, it's basically the realtor, seller, buyer, and the bank, and that's it.
So no attorneys.
Sorry.
So no attorneys involved?
No attorneys, no.
Okay. So can I ask, what if you have a dispute after the closing? Is it as is and buyer beware like it is here?
No, actually here, the seller has the responsibility, and there actually it depends. If it's a condo, the seller always has like a 2 years period that they are in charge, if there is any issues. If it's a single family home, like a house, then it's 5 years period that the seller is responsible for if there is any like hidden problems or anything that affects for the property. So yes, there is a lot of responsibility for the seller.
Wow, so different.
So yeah. On that note, what are some of the things that you've seen come up within that 5-year time frame, like underground oil tank, like contaminated well? Like, what are the things you've seen? I'm so curious. Or is it not too common?
I guess there is the mold is the big issue, moisture, that kind of stuff. The weather here is quite harsh. We have very cold and wet winters, and there is a lot of rain basically year round. So of course, if we are talking about house, there is a tremendous pressure by nature for all the structure. So that can always make some issues that the buyers probably don't see when they are looking the house. We are in most cases when we are selling a single family home, we are using home inspectors. So there is a home inspection that is done, but of course that's if they are not doing like any structural openings, it's usually very visual inspections. So you don't know if there is really something wrong with the structure.
Does the inspector have any liability after the sale if they miss something?
Well, usually they write the reports in such way that they can pretty much step back, and they said, well, we never take any real responsibility. They can just give recommendation and how they assume that things are. So. Right. Yeah. So in real life, I don't think I've ever seen that they would have any responsibility.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, how is real estate during the coronavirus and COVID-19, and what are your rules and regulations and restrictions currently?
Yeah. Well, I think we are a little bit ahead of you as when we are looking at the timeline. The first infection in Finland was already at the end of January. It was in northern Finland, in Lapland, that is very popular for ski tourists. And since Finland is located in the northeastern Europe, we have a lot of airline traffic between Finland and China. So there's a lot of Chinese tourists and business people traveling to Finland and through Finland. And the first coronavirus was from Chinese tourists. So we were expecting here that the virus would really outbreak from China, but that wasn't the case, because now we know that the actual outbreak in Finland started in mid-February, late February, from people who were on their ski vacation in Austria or in Italy. And as you know, Italy is probably the hardest hit country in the whole world, besides USA, of course. So finally, when the virus started to escalate here, it came from people who had been in Italy and Austria. And our government was quite slow in the beginning, placing any restrictions, but then they introduced a martial law here like a month ago, so early March. So that then they got some really good tools that they could place in restrictions, like, for instance, any meetings with more than 10 people at the moment are not allowed in any public spaces. Also, what they did, they closed the capital region, the southern part of Finland, which has like most inhabitants in Finland. They closed the borders, but they only kept the borders closed for like 2.5 weeks. And now the borders are open again. So basically you can travel within Finland wherever you like to go. All the grocery stores are open, but all the restaurants are closed. All schools are closed. Daycare is closed. So when you go outside the street here in Helsinki at the moment, it's very empty. It's always quite empty here because it's a big country with very few people, but now it's extremely empty and very, very quiet. And I think in a way, the Finnish nature is that we are very, we have our social distancing by our nature. So it really isn't a big problem for us. We are not huggers and kissers like people in Southern Europe are. We always like to keep our distance. So in that way, it's kind of easy for us to have this social distancing. And I was just checking.
So you must love it when you walk into my office in Fort Myers and I just hug everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, we actually met. Jukka came into my office in Fort Myers and I helped him lease one of his condos, and we've been looking at a few more condos. So it's nice to, have people around the world that we already love and trust to be able to share how their countries truly are doing. So how long have you been home now?
Well, I have been in home more or less like a month now, but of course, I've been going to the office every now and then. I've still done some listing visits with my clients. I've had some showings, but Remax in Finland, we have made a decision that we don't do any open houses anymore, so we only do private showings by appointment. And and then we also offer for clients, if they want to list their property, we are giving them the chance to do it online, so that they can just show the condo or house with their smartphone or tablet, and we can see how it looks. But most of the clients, as far as my experience, is that they still want to meet personally. They don't want to do it online. But what we do now, of course, we keep our social distances. We are using hand sanitizers, and we don't shake hands, of course, so we stay apart from our clients. But other than that, I really feel that the interaction with our clients, it really hasn't changed that much.
We've changed a bit here. It used to be, are you pre-approved and working with a realtor? And do you have a cough? And have you been traveling? And have you been sneezing? Do you have a fever?
Yeah.
It's insane. And most people here are the same way. We're not ready yet for completely virtual selling.
Yeah, this is of course now my personal experience and my office experience, but I'm sure if you would ask somebody else, I'm sure there are also some different stories. But my experience is that most of the clients, they still want to meet us personally, and especially when we are doing the listing visits that we do it in real life. But like I said, but we have given our clients instructions, before we enter their home, that they should put all the lights on and they should open all the cabinet doors so that we don't have to touch any doors or any doorknobs or any light switches or anything.
Same.
Yeah.
So now, Jukka, that being said, are you finding that are you still transacting? Are you still, or is it down a little bit? Because I'll tell you, where we are, we've definitely seen a dip in number of people getting under contract, listing their home. Right now is the busiest time of year, typically. And we're certainly not where we should be. Are you experiencing that as well, or not so much?
Well, I guess this is where it gets interesting now, since we already had the Corona situation in March, and in our office, March, we did the best month ever, best sales. We've never had so good month than this March. Now, when I'm looking into April figures, it seems that we are still doing pretty okay in April, but then for June, May or June, July, I have no idea. When the virus really hit Finland in late February, early March, we noticed that the first 2 weeks, the business really died for a moment. So 2 weeks, it was like zero. There was no calls or no emails. It was very, very slow. But then we've seen gradually the business is increasing a little bit. And the funny thing is that, at least to me, it seems that the buyers are now back in the market. Because now we get calls and mails from clients who want to see some properties that have been market already for a while, and now people are contacting and they want to see those. But I think that the sellers are still a bit hesitant because nobody knows how long this pandemic will take. Are we good to go by summer, or does it go all the way to fall or end of the year? So there is very much uncertainty in the air at the moment. So, but considering all this, I have to say that I'm surprised that we still have the business, at least some of the business is still going on. So.
And I think that's very, very true for my market as well. We do have a lack of inventory of homes. However, a lot of people are home and they're looking online and they want to see homes. So if you had a message to a potential buyer or seller in Finland, would you tell them to consider to list their home? Or would you tell them, if their home is vacant, are you saying, maybe now's the best time to consider? Or do you have any type of messages you're sharing with your database?
Well, like three weeks ago, I told my clients, let's wait for a moment. But now I say that let's go ahead and list it because, like I said, the buyers are now back on the market. So if we list now, there is a good chance that now we find a buyer for the listing. If we're gonna wait a few more weeks, we will be in May, and in Finland, the summer is getting closer. We have very short summer. Our summer season is basically from mid-June until mid-August. We only have like 2 months summer, and usually that time the business is quite slow, and because people want to enjoy their summer, they don't want to think about their real estate needs. So if we are going to wait a few more weeks, we really don't have long time before the summer hits. The time goes so fast. And if we think that the average selling time, it can be easily be like 2 months. So if we don't start now, we might even lose the deal before the summer is arriving.
So you're ramped up now, and in a couple of months, it's going to just by the nature of your area, it's going to slow down in 2 months.
Yeah, if it goes as it usually goes, the business slows from mid-June until end of July, mid-August. That's usually the two slowest months of the year because of the summer vacation. Because in Finland, the vacation is so different what you have in the States. In Finland, we really have long vacations. Everybody has at least 5 weeks vacation per year. So they usually have like 4 weeks in the summer and 1 week in the winter. And people here, if they have 4 weeks vacation, they have 4 weeks in a row. They don't do like 1 week here, 1 week there. They have 4 weeks. So usually July is the summer vacation month. So July of Finland is more or less closed. Of course, we do business also in July, but we can see that transactions are usually much less in July than months in spring or in fall.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's how the majority of every country except for America is. They all vacation so much more than we do.
Yeah.
That's
of course, we are
weeks. And do you find, Jukka, that a lot of businesses kind of shut down as well, and everyone kind of understands July is the month where most people are relaxing, and it's kind of understood?
Yeah. It's usually we get most of the foreign tourists in July, and they are always so surprised when they get to Helsinki, and it's like a ghost town. There is nobody. People go to their lake cabins or cruises or somewhere, enjoy the summer. They are not here in the city during July month.
And now, would you say that where do most people go on vacation to? Do most people vacation, like for you, in July, typically, and your friends and family? Where do most people go?
Well, everybody in Finland have their own cabin by the lake. I think there are like, I don't know how many, maybe 1 million cabins. It's a big country. It's like the size of Montana, and we only have like a little bit less than 6 million people. So we have a lot of space, and we have, I think it's like 88,000 lakes. So there is plenty of lakes to everybody. And usually these summer cabins, they are very, very Spartan, I would say. There are like no running water. There is usually electricity, no toilets, and we all have like outhouses. So it's very, very bare bones.
Rustic.
Very rustic. Yeah. And
Alexa and I are like, oh, let's go, and Tabitha's like,
We could shower in the lake, right? I mean, that's okay.
I would still go. Girl Scout, hello.
But the interesting thing, all these summer cabins, they are also a big part of the real estate business here. And now the trend is that the younger generation, they are not so interested about spending their vacation in some cabin, in the middle of nowhere with any running water or any modern convenience. Yeah. So, but like my parents, the baby boomers, I guess they are the last generation who really, everybody wanted to have a cabin. But the younger generations, it's a bit different now. They are not so into these cabins. And this has, of course, caused that now the prices of these second homes or summer cabins, they are really, really going down. I just read an article that if you want to list your summer home somewhere like in central Finland, 4 hours drive from Helsinki, the prices have dropped in the last 10 years, 30 to 50%. So it's really, really hard to sell them now.
Well, so that's good to know. If someone out there is thinking, I want to get a beautiful lakeside retreat in Finland, maybe now's the time. Give Jukka a call.
Absolutely. We are happy to sell all those cabins that are waiting for new owners. And honestly, Finland is not a very known country in the world, but especially during 2 summer months that the weather is nice. It's really, really beautiful here, and it's so quiet and so serene. I think Finland is the quietest country in the world. And we don't talk much, and there is not many people. It's really, really peaceful and quiet. So this is like a marketing speech. If somebody wants quiet, come to Finland.
Love it.
Right?
Beautiful
that's
country.
excellent. I think everything's pretty quiet right now.
Yeah.
Too quiet.
Well, you have me sold on Finland, Jukka.
Yeah, I know. And I keep telling him I'm coming to visit.
Yeah. Come on, it's nice when you can travel, or when the borders are open again. Now it seems that everything is closed.
Right, because weren't you planning on coming back to Florida? What, in May?
Well,
or
I was supposed to fly April 30th, but it's not going to happen. So next, I have tickets booked for July the 2nd, but I'm not sure if that will happen either.
Right.
Fingers crossed, yes.
Well, let me know if you need any with your property here in Fort Myers, and I'll take care of it for you.
Yeah.
Perfect. And when the travel ban's lifted, let's all go visit Jukka, and we can do a full-on experience.
Yes.
That would be my pleasure. Yeah.
But we're huggers, just so you know. So
yeah.
Well, I'm not hugging anybody.
When Jukka and his business partner come to visit, I always hug them, and I never realized that it would make them uncomfortable.
No, I'm not typical Finn. I'm not quiet, and I'm a hugger as well. So
that's why we love you so much.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, what else do you have to discuss? What are you doing to keep the agents in your office happy and positive during all of this?
Yeah. Well, of course, this has a lot of effect how we work, since we want to avoid personal contact as much as possible. So now we have decided that if somebody wants to go into our office, we always put a message using WhatsApp that we know that I will be in the office tomorrow between 10 and 1, for instance. And then everybody else knows that they are not coming to the office at the same time. But like all the team meetings have been cancelled that we do in the office. So what we are doing now, we are having like virtual meetings by using Zoom or Teams app, and we do usually like a real office meeting once every 2 weeks. But then we also have this like informal meetings that we do every now and then. Just like a Friday last week or 2 weeks ago, we just everybody had a glass of wine or something, and we just were blubbering with each other a few hours.
Yeah. Tabitha and we had some Zoom drinks the other night as we were getting all of our scheduling for all of the shows that we have going on this week pulled together. Yeah.
But of course, it's really challenging because at least how I feel, most of the agents, they really need, and I guess everybody who works in real estate, we are used to work with the people, and we want to, even though we want to keep our social distance, but we still want to be close with each other and sit in the office and discuss about all the issues that we have and change opinions. And now, of course, because we cannot do it in real life, we have to use all this modern technology, like WhatsApp or FaceTime or whatever to do this. And of course, it's never the same than the real actual contact.
Gotcha.
It's true. It's all about Zoom these days.
I know.
My favorite is Party House. I think that's what it's called. House Party.
House Party.
You can hop on the app and just connect and play trivia. And
Did you hear the House Party horror story?
No, please.
Did you? Okay, so and this is why we actually talked about this on our group text message the other day. how everyone needs to immediately delete the House Party app from their phone because the video stays on. So if you are showering, going to the restroom, you're looking at her phone right now.
I'm deleting it right now.
Delete House Party unless you want the whole world to see you naked.
No, that was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that you called. Well, no, Sandra. Sorry,
Sandy was like, she just started here. I downloaded the app and I was like, Sandy, are you there? And she was like looking around her house, and then she picked up her phone, and it was me talking to her on the app that I didn't know how to use yet. But I was like,
you could see her.
Like, I was just laying on her nightstand.
Hey, she said she was in the kitchen cooking.
Oh, maybe.
This is a good PSA. Thank you.
Yeah, good PSA.
I learned not only about Finland and our buddy Jukka, but also to delete the House Party app. Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm very old-fashioned. I didn't need any apps to have a house party. You know, I can party by myself.
That's right. And we have quite the lineup going on this week. So I'll go ahead and mention that very quickly, as we are going to be hanging out with our favorite RE/MAX brokers, owners, and agents from all around the world this week. And we have tomorrow at 1:00. You are not going to want to miss. We will have Kevin from Malta. And if anyone joins us at our 4, they have probably met Kevin and toasted a cocktail and maybe had a dance or two around Hakkasan. And so Kevin will be joining us to discuss what is going on in Malta and in the regions that he serves. And then Wednesday at 2:00, we have Gabriela from Nicaragua, and Gabby is absolutely amazing. And it's very interesting how Nicaragua is so much different than the rest of the world. And she's just an amazing, beautiful person. We can't wait to have her. Thursday at 10 a.m., we have our good friend Dario, who is from Italy. And Dario is the regional owner of the RE/MAX offices in Italy. We absolutely love him to death. Who else do we have? Oh, we have 2 shows on Thursday because of all of these time zones that we're jumbling. Thursday at 3:00 p.m., we have our good friend James, and James has an office in the Cayman Islands. So we're looking forward to seeing James. 9 a.m. on Friday. Yeah, we're waking up early for Rob all the way from Australia. So, some of you may have seen him at R4 in the video summit, and he's a great guy. We're looking forward to seeing what Australia is up to. And then Friday at 1:00, we have Hannah's homegirls from Ontario, Canada, Jessica and Talene. So looking forward to joining all of our friends and RE/MAX family around the world this week so we can get updates. And
we're gonna keep it rolling for everybody that represent your country. Tell us how you're doing.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah. And if you're, in a country that you haven't seen listed on or a different region of the country than someone we have scheduled, just reach out to us on Facebook Messenger, email, text message, whatever your preferred form of communication is, except for house party.
No house party. And one of us will follow up.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any thoughts of hope and positivity moving forward to end on a good note with?
Yes, absolutely. So, of course, when all this started, this coronavirus, I was like glued on the news, both online and on TV, and I spent like maybe the first week nonstop just reading the news, and seeing what the real horror, or as the situation like developed by the hour. But for the past week, I decided that I don't want to see the news anymore. I've had enough. I know this is horrible, and it's equally horrible to everybody around the world. So what I think now is the most important thing is to stay positive and keep your focus on your business, because eventually we will be out of this whole thing by the end of summer, or by the end of year, or by the end of next year. But someday we will be over, and I'm guessing that when everything is completed, there will be a huge influx of new properties to the market. So people want to sell their homes, because the needs of people, they don't change. The people get married, they die, they have kids, they divorce. So they need to get new apartments or new house or new condo or whatever. And of course, we need to be ready for those needs when people are really getting back into the market. And like I told you, I can already see that the buyers are gradually getting into market in Finland. So we just have to really focus on the business and keep things going on, even if we have to do some tweaks and do the business a bit differently. And I also think that this is a good chance to adapt some new ways of working. Like, I'm not really sure if are we gonna go back to the open houses after this, because now I'm really liking doing all the showings as a private showing by appointment only. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go back to open houses anymore. It's very ineffective use of time to sit somewhere an hour or 2 hours waiting for somebody who might never show up. Why would I spend my time there? So I think that we really need to try to find out some good practices out of this and take them into use and develop our business and be better realtors and just get more business. And one thing I want to add, I really trust that our brand Remax is helping us getting over this. I wouldn't be so sure if I would be working in some small independent mom and pop realtor. They really gonna have a hard time. And of course, I hope that everybody will survive, but I'm pretty sure that there will be some real estate casualties as well. And in that sense, I'm really happy that I'm with Remax. I'm with a big known brand, and that will also help us during these tough times. That's pretty much what I'm thinking.
Agreed. 100%.
Absolutely. We've got they keep coming out, rolling out tools and all the good stuff. So
yeah.
Remax, we love you.
Yeah, thank you, Remax, for all that that they are doing during this time. It really is wonderful to have the support of our brand and our CEO Adam Contos, and be surrounded by such amazing people all around the world.
Yeah, and I have to give credit to our regional office here in Finland as well. They have been very active. We have broker owner meetings like every week, which is perfect. We do it through Zoom app. And also they are offering a lot of training for the agents. So I think there are like 2 or 3 trainings each week. That's also good. We keep the agents active so that they really can focus, that they have to do business, that they just can't let it go. They have to keep on trying.
Right. I like it.
Yeah.
Mind going, keep it off with everything else and focused. And I think it's healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's true.
Absolutely.
It's important that, we're evolving and everything like that, because as they say, evolve or dissolve, right? So I'm glad that we're, it's all about being progressive and keeping on top of things. And like you said, Jukka, changing the way we're, kind of finding the silver lining and everything and being more effective and efficient than ever. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And of course, you have to remember that, each agent in your office is an individual. They have their own fears about the situation. So you have to really listen to them and help them if they have any issues, and somehow make them stronger so that they can get better in their business. So there's a lot of responsibility as on a broker owner level at the moment.
Yeah, and we all other agents, everybody here, the sadness, the depression, reaching out to people. I mean, now we have more purposeful conversations and interactions that we maybe lacked and took for granted. So now we can get together. And I mean, my heart goes out to everybody that's sitting in their houses and doing this and putting up with this, to stay safe. But it's trying, for people especially that are by themselves. Get a dog, get a cat.
Yeah, or you know what, like anyone that follows our page or is friends with us on social media, if you ever need to talk, regardless, shoot us a message, let us know. Like, we're always happy to help out any way we possibly can.
Yeah, and I also think this is excellent idea to have this kind of virtual get-togethers, with people around the world, because then you hear that people are struggling with exactly the same issues. It doesn't matter if you're in the States or if you're in Finland or in Australia or Malta or wherever. I guess the issues are pretty much same for each of us.
We're human.
Yeah. And that's the goal of the show, is to just bring light to people and to, feel like we all feel we've never felt more alone than ever, but alone we are together, right? We're in our own homes. I'm petting my dog that's like asking for my attention right now.
Right.
And, it's amazing that we're able to connect, and hopefully, this conversation has really made my day.
Oh, same here. Oh, do we all have dogs?
We all have some
laying at our feet right now?
My dogs are loving this. Mommy time.
My dog is not really a lap dog, so.
Oh, so you all have dogs. Hold on one second.
Okay.
I'm literally dying right now.
Right?
What is going on? You guys.
I usually have more.
I don't have a dog, but I have a pet.
That will keep you warm as well.
Yeah, this keeps me warm, every night.
Oh,
No, I'm not drinking that much.
And Deb just commented, and Deb said, "I bet he has a cat." He travels so much that I don't think he could ever have an animal. I look at my Instagram, and you are always on an airplane, so your traveling has been cut down, and
yeah. So now it's just me and my good buddy here.
There you go.
Yes, I'm friends with that one as well.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been awesome.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on our show, and thank you to all that have followed and joined and commented, and we are excited to see everybody tomorrow at 1:00 with Kevin from Malta, as we work our way as the Housewives go global from our living room
around the world.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure to be with you on this.
Oh, thank you.
The pleasure was all ours.
Being with us. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
All right. Bye, all.